our Games Next Tech Convention, more specifically. So Nascent Edge has been around for a few years, but we haven't been active, mostly due to the pandemic, and it wasn't really a time that was conducive to us having our in-person events, which is what we specialize in. So behind the scenes, how I would describe Nascent Edge is we're a research company and we identify markets where next generation technologies are taking hold. That doesn't necessarily need to be gaming. We also are looking at having renewable energy and startup conventions as well. But we want to start in gaming because that's a market that we know. Well, we want to start with gaming in India specifically because that's a market that we know. And from our insights, the gaming industry is growing incredibly quickly within India. And we want to help to foster that growth. We want to host events that bring people together, or from the top down, from top business people to players, to make sure that everyone's got the most up-to-date information. And we think that the best way to create this network is by getting everyone under the same roof, stimulating discussions through a conference, displaying the most recent developments in the industry through exhibitions, and just generally trying to make sure that everyone's shaking the right hands and they can get the right deals going. So we try and aim to make sure that everyone at our events can contribute something to the other attendees. So if you bump into each other at a cocktail evening or at one of our scheduled lunches or on the exhibition floor, that conversation is going to help grow your business and improve your information about the industry. So yeah, like I said, GNT is our first event that we're going to be hosting, and Ruark is the conference producer on that. So Ruark, give us a bit of an overview about GNT, the market, and all that sort of information.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Ryan, for that introduction. It certainly helps to put things in perspective. So as James said, GNT, Games Next Tech Convention, is Nascent Edge's first inaugural event in India, and the gaming industry is growing. It is significantly large when we talk in terms of the Indian market. And with GNT, we want to shed light on the technology aspect that's driving this growth, whilst also celebrating the people who are propelling this sector forward. So with a wide range of topics, this event is set for 2.5 days, starting on the 20th of September. We've initially planned for a workshop on the first day, on the 20th, and then on the 21st and the 22nd, we have 2 days of conventions where we'll have multiple sessions, panel discussions, and keynote sessions where leaders both from the Indian gaming industry and also from the global gaming industry will join us and shed more light, share their insights and experiences on what are the current trends and what needs to be done to take this sector forward. Also looking at what are these emerging technologies that are right now in their nascent stage and that need to evolve further, that will drive the sector forward. So that's what GNT is all about.
Very cool. So I guess, going back to kind of like the data gathering and things that you've seen so far, what are some emerging maybe games or emerging trends or emerging technologies that you guys have seen that you think are most interesting and people need to know about?
Well, we've understood what we realize, and this is talking with industry leaders as well, is one, esports has emerged as a game changer, and bringing different people from different backgrounds, gamers as well as developers, it's kind of taken on kind of its own route, its own shape. Apart from that, then the next emerging trend that leaders are talking about is cloud gaming and the possibilities that it also brings. There's no requirement for expensive hardware. Gamers can play anytime, anywhere. There's also the possibility where developers and gamers are also able to collaborate together. And then we also have metaverse, how that is also bringing about, a whole change in the experience when you're talking about the gaming experience, the gameplay, and also involving the gamer itself in the whole process of developing the game itself. From this, then we have the disruptive technologies, AI, ML, blockchain. All of these are also proving to play a very critical role in the overall experience of games.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, I think all these things are coming full force. Is there something for you guys personally, based on maybe your favorite games, or what you're interested in on your personal time? Is there something that you're most excited about, or that you plan on, an esports team that you like, or maybe a certain AI game or something like that you guys are finding most interesting personally?
Well, I'm quite interested in seeing how cloud gaming, takes shape. How that, because I'm recently I've gone to this game Asphalt on my mobile phone, and I love to see how cloud gaming and how AI is set to change the whole experience. I mean, when I'm speaking with other leaders, I think it all comes down to the experience, and I want to see how metaverse also makes. So this is something that I'm quite on a personal level interested in seeing how that's going to make a difference.
Cool. And James, do you have any input there? Any thoughts?
Just from my side, that question gets me thinking about the fact that there's three of us on this call, and one of us is in the States, one of us is in India, and I'm in South Africa. And that just shows the potential for technology to bring people together. And I think the fact that we can do that whilst engaging in something that we enjoy and that we find entertaining, like a game, whether it's esports, first-person shooter, mobile games, whatever it is that you enjoy. I'm looking forward to seeing how, when things like 5G and improved network speeds start to bring the world closer together, bring countries from Africa, from South Asia, from the more developed countries in Europe and America. I think that that's a very exciting thing and something that I'm looking forward to.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
Apart from that, Ryan, I think it'll also be interesting to see, I was going through recent statistics specifically for India. I think there's a large section of women also who are actively, participating, who are actually spending significant amount of time on gaming. One of the statistics that I read is actually, on an average, women in India spend about 11.2 hours a week gaming, whereas the men spend about 10 hours average in a week. So I'm quite interested in seeing, how that also plays. And, I think a very important aspect is also talking about the storyline being more diverse and open for all segments, to play. Everybody can participate. So that will also be something that I'm quite interested in seeing how that conversation goes.
Yeah, and I guess with all these technologies that you just mentioned, it allows more perspectives inside and more, I guess, just growth in general, for, if there's a player from, a woman in India, like you just said, who's never had a perspective involved in gaming before, I'm sure there's a character out there that looks just like her now, or, someone that, that's something that she created, or an idea or something like that is now involved in gaming that previously probably wasn't, because, just how things were. I mean, from my perspective, it was like from the top down, the biggest companies were making the games and everyone would just play them. And then now it seems to be leveling the field where people are having input from the ground level up a little bit more, it seems. But
yeah, exactly.
I guess also, I mean, that goes hand in hand with what you guys want to try to do with your convention, is bring people together. What are you kind of expecting for the turnout for the GNT convention? Who do you think will go? And from the average gamer to the biggest game developer? Like, who are you expecting to be there?
So we're expecting all of them to join us, from game developers, technology leaders, game enthusiasts, gamers themselves, publishers, influencers, investors. So these are the pool that we're expecting to join us, because the whole idea is to celebrate the industry, at the same time forge new partnerships, new business, new relationships. It's a networking opportunity as well. That's why we've identified Bengaluru. Bengaluru is India's IT hub. So we're expecting all of them to come and join, and have something to take away with them.
Yeah, I guess for gamers in general, do you guys feel that the in-person events are more necessary because everyone's just interacting from remotely and online? Do you think this in-person event is more necessary and the feedback has been greater for that reason?
Well, gaming, I think it is different. So when we're playing online, I think the experience is different. But when we have something such as a convention like GNT, what I think it's safe to say, I think everyone is a little saturated with online, conventions and online conferences. I think in person is what now everyone is asking for, because nothing beats an in-person networking experience, a networking opportunity. Nothing
Sure.
beats face-to-face, exploring whether the person you're interacting with is the right fit for your business deal, whether the product lineup that they have. So I think what I'm trying to say is that whilst, yes, gaming is a virtual experience, but for forging new relationships, meeting people, I think that we need to meet in person. That's something that's very important, and that's the feedback that we've also received from most of the people that we've approached and spoken with.
Yeah, I think everyone learned during COVID that the virtual events were not as entertaining and as fun, But yeah, I think the in-person events, especially for an industry that people really hold close to heart, I think people are going to get excited for that. Is there any person or company appearing at the GNT convention that you guys think gamers in the area will come out to see, or people would be excited to see at the convention?
Well, yes, definitely. So currently we have a few speakers who have confirmed, and we're expecting more to join. But we have a few names that will attract. One is Saloni Sehgal. She's one of the leading investors in this field. Her firm's been investing in games, particularly esports, and and are exploring other aspects as well. Then we have Ninad Chaya from Reliance Games, who is one of their senior VPs, and also we'll be talking on the monetary aspect of gaming. Then we have Anurag Sinha, who's very vocal about esports. He's joining us from New Gen Gaming. And another very interesting name is Khushbu Jain, who's an advocate in the Supreme Court of India, and speaks quite vocally for esports and the impact that it has on the global economy.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of why people are embracing games too. I mean, at first everyone was like, oh, gamers are just dropouts. They stay home, they don't do anything. And then now, I know gamers who have bought houses and are making legitimate money, and really successful. So it's crazy how the tables have turned in that way.
Exactly, and I think the leaders who will be coming on board, I think the younger generation, the next generation, will definitely want to know what they can look forward to if they ever decide to pursue a career in this rapidly growing industry.
Yeah, and it seems like anyone can now find their niche in it. At first it was probably like a pro gamer will make money and then no one else will make money, or like the best game developer will make money and no one else will make money. But now it seems there's room for everyone. There's people that are they're making money just enough so they could be like, I don't have to spend money on this game. I can bank all of my normal income and then I use this income for my gaming habit or whatever. And then you have every kind of person now. So that's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, No, absolutely. Just to like touch on that, it's amazing how tech hasn't just allowed us to produce these more captivating games that are seen more as just, that games aren't just this way to like waste time anymore. That it's this real experience. It's this journey that you can go on, and the fact that people can now more easily share that with other technologies like social media, streaming, and things along those lines. I'm just so glad that people can make the most of their passion, and that those tools are in place for them to share their experiences with the world.
Definitely.